Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
Hi everybody, it's Doreen, and today I'm back with the last card of my little short mini-series. So this year it's only going to be 3 cards for my Mother's Day series. Now once again I am using Erica, or my Silhouette. I probably will be doing a lot of cards and projects with my Silhouette because I'm finding I really like the Silhouette, actually more than I like my Cricut. But don't get upset if you think that I'm never going to do any Cricut and Gypsy videos again. I probably will go back to that, but right now I'm favoring my Silhouette. So what does our last card of the series look like? This is the card that we will be making, and this is not really a difficult card. There is some maneuvering you have to do in the Silhouette Designer Edition software, so you'll need that to make this card. But come on and join me, and I'm going to show you how you can make this card too. Okay everybody, so we're going to get started with how I am going to make the card for the last day of the short mini series that I'm doing. Now this one does take some maneuvering in the software, and I am using the Silhouette Designer Edition software, but once you get everything cut out, you should have no problem making this card because it's really simple to put together. Now in yesterday's video, or the video for day 2, I talked about that I went to a website to get the flowers that were on the front of my grandma card. The website that I got the cards is Birds Cards, so that is birdscards.com, and she does have several files on her website, and she has also digital stamps and digital sentiments and free paper and templates on her website, as you can see across here. Now, as I said, everything is free on her site, but she does have a tip jar over here if you would like to contribute to things that you may be cutting out from her website. And I have gone ahead and done that, and I encourage people that if you are going to use someone else's digital images and they say that they are free, if they have a tip jar or something for a donation on their website, please do donate, because that helps them to be able to give away, the images for free and to do the work that they're doing to make them free. I haven't gotten into learning how to come up with my own images yet on the Silhouette Designer Edition. I do hope to do that soon, and no, I do not have a blog or a website. I just don't have the time to do that. So what I did to get those flowers is I went over to free digital cut files, and then I picked the option that says flowers and leaves, and then you will see there is several flower and leaves cut files. So the one that I took was this one right here, which is called a Road Flower 3 digital cut. So that's the one that I used to make those flowers on day 2's card. So now I'm going to be using the same site to make the card that we'll be making today, and that card is also under shaped cards. So I'm going to click that, and we're going to go down to the one that says Tulip Frame Card Digital Cutting File. So now I've already downloaded this to my computer, but I'm going to walk you through what you'll need to do. So you're going to click on that option, and then a box is going to pop up and wants to know if you want to save the file, or if you want to open it with WinZip. And if you don't have WinZip, you can type in WinZip in Google and download that to your computer. So because I've already saved it, I'm just going to take the option that says open with WinZip, and I'm going to click OK. And the WinZip menu is going to come up, and I'm going to click I agree to the opening up the software. So now these are the versions of the cut files that she has. So you can take right away the studio version, or if you want to take the SVG version, you can. But she's been kind enough to put it out there as a studio file, so I'm just gonna go ahead, and if you want to save this to your computer and extract it, you can click on extract, and then you can go ahead and put it in a folder that you want to put it in. Now, because I've already saved it to my computer, I'm just going to double click that, and it's going to open it up in my studio software. So now when this comes in, it comes in, if you look at your mat, we're going to go up to the page size, and you can see that it is selected at A4. So I did not want to use an A4 for my mat. So what I did was I turned around and made this 12 by 12 because I know that's the mat size that I have. Now the difference with doing this is you'll notice that the card size then is, the width is 7.325 and the height is 3.665, so that's going to make a very small card, and I wanted it to be 5.5 by 5.5. So this is where you're going to have to do some maneuvering to get it to the size that you want. And I'm not saying the way that I'm doing it is the right way, but this is the only way that I could figure out how to get this to work for me. So what I've done is, I first of all, because these pieces are not grouped together, as you can see when I'm clicking on them, they're each a separate piece. So the first thing I want to do is start doing some grouping. So I'm going to start with the card itself, and I'm going to make sure that I get everything highlighted, and I'm going to group just the card. So now that I've got everything selected, I'm going to right click and choose group. So now this puts my card together as one. The next thing that I want to group is I want to group these pieces because these pieces are not grouped as well. So I'm going to go ahead and once again select everything, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to click group, and hopefully I got everything, and this piece is now grouped together. And then the next thing, these are two separate pieces as you can see, so we want to group those together. So I'm going to go ahead, I grabbed the card, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I grab everything, and once again right click and click group. So now all my pieces are grouped together. So now to get them, you would think that if you went ahead and picked this option and said that you wanted it to be 5.5 over here on your scale window, that would make the card 5.5 by 11, which would be a 5.5 by 5.5 inch card. Then you could take this one and make this one 5.5, and then make this one 5.5. Well, when I tried doing that, these pieces were larger than this piece. So the way I found to do this was I took my piece and put it right on top of this one, and it doesn't have to be that exact, like so. And then I went ahead and I grouped all of this together, and this can be tricky if you don't grab everything. And then I took this piece and moved it on top of here. And like I said, I'm not saying this is the right way to do this, but this is the way I found it was for me. So now I've got to move this over a little bit so I get that right where I want it. And then I'm going to group all of that together. And let's make sure we got everything. So then right click and then click group. Now is when I take, because everything should be grouped together, and we'll find out in a minute when I go to move this, and it all moved together. So I'm going to move it down just a little bit more. And now I'm going to go over to my scale window and type in the 5.50, and I want to click the lock aspect ratio. So as you can see now, the width is 11, and I'm going to click apply. So now that is my card at 5.5 by 5.5. So now you're probably wondering, what do you do next? Well, what I did from here was I selected my card and then I ungrouped. So now what should be ungrouped is this piece right here. And this is the piece that you are going to, if you're making this card with me and you want to do the stained glass effect, and I did learn how to do this on Bird's Cards website. She does have very good instructions telling you how to do this. So this would be the piece that you would cut in your vellum to get the stained glass. And now I need to ungroup this piece because I have, remember, my top layer on there. So I'm going to select my piece again, right click, and click ungroup. And what should happen is I should now have my card. And I'm going to go ahead and move this piece down here. So there are the 4 pieces that I'll need to cut out my card. So now remember, this background piece right here, you're going to cut in vellum, and then you're going to cut your card, and this piece right here and your card, you'll cut those in one solid color. So now the other thing that I have on here is, on my card, is the Happy Mother's Day. And I said on day 2 I would show how to use the Silhouette sketch pens to create your sketching like I did on the card for day 2 and the card that we'll be doing today. So now what I did for that is I'm just going to go ahead and move these over to the side here. And the other thing that I didn't do that I like to do is I always like to reveal my mat so I can see what I'm doing. So now remember, these pieces right here are grouped together. So we want to make a piece of a circle that's going to fit within here, because now when you cut this out, it's going to cut all of this out, and it's going to cut that circle out, so you'll have that opening for you to put in anything that you want. So I'm going to click my image, and then I'm going to ungroup, and then I'm just going to click outside of that. Now I'm just going to grab just the circle, and I'm going to move it down here. And because I want my wording to be, I want another layer. I want this layer, and then I want another layer with inside here to do the Happy Mother's Day. I am going to go to my offset window, which is this option right here, this icon, and click offset, and then I'm going to choose interior offset, or I'm sorry, internal, and then I'm going to just keep going in with my arrow until I make it the size that I want, and I think I want it about that size right there. So now we need to get our Happy Mother's Day, and that is a studio file. So let's go out to my library, and I have a folder that I call phrases and words, and here is the Happy Mother's Day. So I'm going to double click that, and obviously that's way too big. So I'm just going to, well, let's do undo. And we'll make sure we get just the Happy Mother's Day. And we're going to just keep going in. And we'll take it right there for right now. And it looks like that may be still too big. So we'll go in just a little bit more. And fit that inside there. So there is my Happy Mother's Day. Now, we want to actually put this back over here. We want this to be centered within this circle here. So what we need to do is you're going to click this circle, and then you're going to click your image, and I'm holding down the shift key on my keyboard and getting my image, and then I'm going to go up to my open the alignment window, and I'm going to click center. So that's going to center my Happy Mother's Day within my circle. So now I'm going to go ahead and group all this together by clicking all images and clicking group. And now this is all grouped together. So now we want to use the sketch pens. So don't forget, let's group this all back together again. And I'm going to move this off of the mat for right now. And I'm going to move this over to here. So to use the sketch pens, you're going to come over to here and you're going to click on your silhouette cut settings, and then you're going to find the option that says silhouette sketch pens, and it sets the speed at 10 and the thickness at 18, which I took the default. But the one thing you have to remember is, because we have this circle here, it's going to sketch that circle too, and we don't want it to. This is, you don't have to use the registration marks this way. What you are going to do is you're going to go up to this cut icon right here, and it looks like a pair of scissors, and we're going to tell it, I shouldn't have, first we need to ungroup it, so I shouldn't have grouped it together. So let's ungroup it. There we go. And we're going to tell this piece no cut. So now when I send this to the silhouette to cut, the only thing that will sketch will be the wording Happy Mother's Day. So you'll load your paper into your silhouette, choose the silhouette cut settings for the sketch pen, and then you're going to click cut. And then once it's cut out, don't remove it from the silhouette. In other words, don't use the unload. You're going to go back to your image, and then you'll go up to the cut style window, and you will set the wording to no cut, and you will click on the circle and click cut. And then you're going to go back to your silhouette cut settings and choose whatever paper size you have, and then you can go ahead and cut. So that's it. I know that was a lot to go over, and if you decide you want to make this card and you need me to explain it a little bit slower, I'll try to do that. But like I said, you can hit the pause button as you're doing this and watching the video, and you're also working with your Silhouette software. Now remember, I was using the Silhouette Design Studio software when I was making this video, so because she gave you a studio file, you should be able to do this. If it were an SVG, then you would need the designer edition. So now that we've cut everything, let's meet back at the table and we'll put our card together.